After years, nearly a decade of being under the dark cloud and then some other things, Louisville sports might be seeing themselves change the narrative and moving to a positive future, specifically when we talk about football and men's basketball. What's cooking? Welcome back into another edition of Now We Can Talk Like Fans on ESPN Louisville Plus. My name is Justin Sofro, and if you aren't familiar with us, what we do here is a little talking cards, cats, bourbon, and bluegrass. And your boy was sipping on some of the finest of the Kentucky bourbons last night while celebrating the Louisville victory over the Kentucky Wildcats in basketball, something that we don't get a lot of, but hopefully times they are changing. First off, though, we're going to talk about two different topics in this video, something I usually try to do one video per topic, but otherwise we're going to do wait a whole nother day to put out another video. So first up, we'll talk about college football, the landscape for one Jeff Brohm, and just some of the reports that are coming out, especially given some of the things we've talked about recently. A lot of you have not been particularly happy with me because I covered everything. I'm sorry, this is a channel we're trying to grow, and if something is a news story of the day, we're going to talk about it. This is also an entertainment factor. Otherwise, what do you want me to do? Just put nothing out? Some of you probably would. Going on 3 Sports is reporting that Louisville is working on a contract extension to keep Jeff Brohm with the Cardinals. And then you have Brett McMurphy, Chris Lowe, I think is what it was. And then Pete Nakos are all reporting because it's a team project. Not one man can report this. It's a team group project. I'm guessing they all got the same information or we're tweeting it out at the same exact time. I don't know exactly the details of why that is. But anyway, they talked about his name has been linked to Penn State. I hear you. I already hear you all about the Penn State truck, and I talked about it, and it was a news story for a day, okay? And then, of course, Florida job opening. That, of course, they're going to be interested in Jeff Brohm. I do find it a little bit humorous, just given the time frame right now that this drops, and it's good. It's good news. Let's be clear. I don't want to be a pity, I don't want to urinate on your parade or your good news story. The timing, though, would have been nicer about a week and a half ago. Somewhere about a week ago before that California loss. Because after that loss, not saying that interest wasn't peaked, there are plenty of schools that would still obviously jump at being able to get a guy like Jeff Brohm. But to me, as a Louisville fan who has dealt with multiple abusive marriages that they've cheated on me and that they've tried to move on. I'm talking about you, Bobby. I'm talking about you, Charlie. I'm talking about those guys. John L. I'm talking about all of you, all of you that have been unfaithful to me. And yes, we've got the Louisville guy, the first family of Louisville. So everybody's saying he's not going to leave. And we all kind of know in our hearts that more than likely he's not going to leave. But I've been hurt too many times. I've seen it happen too many times. Would have been nicer, would have been more preferred. And I guess he didn't want any distractions is probably the main crux of why, this wasn't earlier. But after losing that game, dropping to 20th place in the college football playoff, which is, again, still kind of surprising me. I thought it would be dropping a little bit more, but I'm happy, though it's still going to be a very, very uphill climb to see Louisville even have an opportunity to play in the playoff. But that's really kind of where I sit with it. It's good news, obviously. Love Jeff Brohm. Want to see him continue to coach for as long as he wants to be the head coach of Louisville. I will support and cheer for him and be more than happy about that. You better beat Stoops at the end of the year. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's the news when it comes to him. We'll see what exactly. I'm guessing right now he's making about 5.9 base. And then, with some of the boost he gets there, probably gets around 7 or so. I think we're looking at probably getting him to a base contract extension of about $8 million per season, maybe 8.5, something like that. And of course, while we're talking about Jeff Brohm getting it done, he kind of proved last year that he could get it done against Mark Stoops. He, of course, has to pony up and get it done once again. One other guy proved that he is able to beat the big blue behemoth. That is Kentucky basketball. And we're talking about our man, Pat Kelsey, and just the job that he did yesterday in taking this team. And honestly, I was perplexed by the line movement. Yes, maybe ye of little faith. I know people. I'm a believer in what was happening in the exhibition game mattered, that it counted, especially giving recent memory of what happened in exhibition games. But Pat Kelsey, Michael Brown, absolutely. And then 1A of the proving me as a doubter wrong. Sananda Frew came out to play, and he showed that he could hang and he could bang. Bang with the big boys. I don't know why I had to use that term of phrase, but I did. A few of the takeaways that I want to say from this game is obviously Louisville is a contender when it comes to the ACC, and I think in the big stage, the big picture. I don't care that it was the third game of the season. You're playing two of the best teams. We're both in the exact same spot. Louisville v. Kentucky, and they were able to not only just handle and beat Kentucky, they were beating Kentucky down in ways that I have not seen in my memorable lifetime. Rick Pitino, whatever psychological issues he suffered from, Pat Kelsey made it clear that he does not suffer from any of those ailments. He does not have them. And he came out there. This team was ready to go. They poured on the points early, raining in threes, and then of course you saw that 20-point lead. And then obviously we have to be honest with ourselves when it came to the way that it evaporated in the second half. I'm going to say when you live by the three, sometimes you don't fully die by the three, but you get hurt by the three. And when you keep shooting, obviously Michael Brown had some issues going on with his cramping, and he wasn't exactly the same player, but still he put this team on his back, as did Cromwell. And then of course, Sananda Frew in the play of him and the bigs really shocking me, seeing Casey Pryor get very little, I think maybe 2 minutes overall. I don't know how much time he had, but he did absolutely nothing, and he wasn't needed. I was excited to see that, and it was something that shows me that there is some legitimate depth. We didn't see the possible Greek Freak, and we didn't need to see the Greek Freak play for Louisville, but definitely seeing Sananda Frew play with that softness was gone. There was so much softness that I saw early on in the first game, and I saw it kind of dissipate a little bit against Jackson State, but it was completely gone as they took on their rival Wildcats, and it was a feeling that was alleviating for me to finally see and finally take a breath and realize Louisville basketball can do what Kentucky basketball has done to us for the last 15 years under John Calipari. We can go out there, we can be the aggressors, we can dominate this rivalry, and we can get the win. So that was exciting for me, and we'll talk about that. But really, I want to focus in on the main guy. And let me know, too, would you like to see us do some instant reactions on the channel? Would you like to see me pop in, do a quick 10-minute video, emotions, whatever's flowing through me at that time, which sounds dangerous? We could do some videos on that. Let me know. But anyway, when it comes to Pat Kelsey, and this is kind of my take for him, Pat Kelsey was living on a razor's edge. And we know that when it comes to coaches, that the way that we feel and the way that we perceive them can be paper thin. One day you can be on the top of the world, as was Rick, and then the next day we're talking about firing Rick Pitino, which happened multiple seasons, multiple years we were talking about. I remember after the Cal loss back in, 2010? We were talking about how quickly can we fire Rick Pitino and move on to the next guy, before he ended up winning a national title, obviously, just a few years later. But what Pat Kelsey did was prove that you have to take him seriously. And I know a lot of fans did, and there are a lot of people that are maybe better fans than me. I understand I live in a constant state of potential negativity when it comes to my teams. I've seen too much to the contrary in the last 10 years that makes me a little bit more unwilling to believe that you're going to get the job done. But Pat Kelsey came out and he proved that he belongs here. He proved that he belongs to have this job. I think if you walk away with a loss after that game, and obviously you see all the theatrics, the celebration, and BBN can act however they want to act about it. But I view, me personally, this is, and again, maybe it's cheesy, maybe it's corny, but I view Pat Kelsey in a different light today than I did a few days ago. The way that I look at Pat Kelsey now is all the stuff that was cheesy and corny, and every coach is going to be cheesy and corny until they start winning. John Calipari, think about all the Calipari-isms that he has, the Rick Pitino-isms. All that stuff is cheesy as hell. All that stuff is corny as hell. But then they start winning. And when they start winning, they bring, all the fans are surrounding them. You hear the cheering of the crowd. You see the dunks. You see the wins. You see it all pile up, and you see it culminate in a trophy or two at the end of the season. And that makes all the difference, because instead of looking at Pat Kelsey like, they used to do the little pat, because we get it. He's like 5'8". He's a little bit of a short guy, Well, guess what? Now you have to respect him the same way. And, it's, again, I don't like to just put everybody in a box, but we used to kind of laugh at Mick Cronin a little bit. And maybe we're laughing at him again. But for the most part, he proved that he was a very good coach. Whether a lot of people may not like him because he's abrasive, and Pat Kelsey's got a little bit of that abrasiveness. He's got a little bit of that, dare I say, dog in him. And when I say dog, if I say Chihuahua, it may have been a Chihuahua. But it's a little bit more of a, what's a mid-sized dog now? What do we got? He's not a lab. He can't be a golden retriever. He's got to be, I guess a pit bull is kind of mid-sized. He's a pit bull. Dale. Mr. 305. Anyway, that's what I say right now is I'm looking at Pat Kelsey in a different light. I think Pat Kelsey now has earned respect of fans like me, who didn't think that, I'll be honest, I didn't believe that this day would come this year. Kentucky went out there, spent supposedly $22 million on their roster. And supposedly Louisville only spent $8 million on the roster. 22 to $8 million. And I thought maybe there's a possibility, especially after that Purdue game. Pat Kelsey has proven that he can draw up a good game plan, and he's also got the guys who are capable of executing it. Guys who can splash and bang three-pointers all day long and make you, even the University of Kentucky, can make those fans have a living nightmare for one day every year. So anyway, guys, just let me know your thoughts and opinions. Are you still on cloud nine? Are you still excited, hype about what this Louisville basketball season can be and what the future of Louisville basketball looks, especially after the murkiness of the last couple seasons? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor, smash the freaking like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofer on Twitter. Of course, you can do the same thing for all ESPN 680 and 93.9 the Ville accounts as well. I'll see you guys next time. Cards, Cats, Urban and Bluegrass. See ya.